Football is the game. All right, this is the Friday Soccer Paycheck here on the Deep End Broadcasting Network. Man, we haven't been here for 2 weeks. It's been a minute. We had the international break last week, so no English Premier League or championship. And then we had the reduced menu the week before with all the countrywide tournaments going on there in the UK. So a full slate finally here after 3 weeks of the English Premier League, the championship, as well as there is currently a game going on. I was watching it here a minute ago with Burnley and Sunderland, 0-0 in the second half for the top side, Burnley at home, but getting a good fight from Sunderland. And what a story about them. If you haven't seen the Sunderland, We Are Sunderland, I think is what it is called. So it's a documentary, several parts. So, like a 10-episode season. And I think there's even a season 2 with like the new ownership or whatever. And this goes back a few years, but it's worth the watch. Sunderland is famous for being a Premier League team and then getting relegated to the championship and then getting relegated even further down to League One. And they've been, the fans just committed to give it all the way back up to the EPL. They got promoted last season from League One back to the championship. And again, if you don't know how that works, it trickles down the ladder. So if you're in the Premier League, the bottom 3 teams at the end of the season will get relegated to the championship. The top 3 teams from the championship get promoted to the Premier League. But if you drop below the championship, you then go to League One. So Sunderland goes EPL to championship to League One. Now they're back up to championship, and they're going to have potentially the opportunity here to jump back into the Premier League if they can win their little playoff, if they can get involved in that here at the end. But we have some soccer left to go before we get to that. Let's look at the Premier League table and see where we sit. And as good as Manchester City has been, Arsenal has been tremendous. 5 wins in a row now for them, and they are 8 points clear of Manchester City. Here we are. They have 28 games played. Manchester City will actually have a game in hand. Arsenal has played the most games, it looks like, of anyone in the Premier League. Them, Everton, Wolverhampton, and Crystal Palace all have played 28 games. Manchester City has played 27. And then behind them, which it's too far. I mean, it's literally going to be a 2-horse race for the top spot here with Arsenal. If they can give it up, I mean, they keep winning. They're not going to relinquish that lead. They do have one game with Man City coming up. And even a draw in that situation, you would think will probably be enough to go ahead and win out. So we have about 10 games to play for Arsenal, a dozen or so for some of the teams who have played less games, like Liverpool and Newcastle. But Arsenal does sit at the top, 69 points. Manchester City, 61. Fading just a hair, Man United. I mean, obviously you can't keep up with the top 2 teams who won 9 out of 10 games combined, and the other one being a draw. But a loss in their last 5, Man U sliding in the point standings compared to those 2. So 50 points for them. Tottenham resurgent now, 49 points. Man, they're up and down, but they seem to be playing much, much better now. Winners of 3 of their last 4. Newcastle has kind of started to hit the skids here a little bit themselves, so they're starting to tail off. 47 points for Newcastle. They have 2 losses now in their last 3 and a draw. The good news, I think, for the international break is you are going to have some rested players who probably need a break at this point. But Newcastle, since the World Cup break, the long extended break, they're just not the same team they were going into that. They were red hot there in the fall. Liverpool, playing better. They have a big game tomorrow morning. That's going to be a 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff with Man City with Liverpool. So that's going to be, the 2 top dogs of the yesteryear right here, just in recent years. Will face off at 7:30 in the morning Eastern. Okay, so 3 wins for Liverpool out of their last 4, and they have a draw. No losses. They did lose 5 games back. Okay. Brighton, they've been up and down. They're all over the place. 42 points for them. Brentford as well. 42 points. 2-1-2 for Brentford. Brighton is 2-1-2. So same record for those guys here in their last 5. Fulham has won 2 in a row. Chelsea, once you started to think that Chelsea was going to go ahead and turn the tide here, but now they've gone to really regress here lately, to be honest. They haven't been doing so well. But Aston Villa is hot. They're going to play them, and here they are, 38 points each in the standings, and that's going to be a good game at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Let me make sure I'm looking at these games right here. Yes, Aston Villa beat Bournemouth last time out, 3-0. Okay, that's right. So Chelsea has won 2 of their last 3 with a draw in there with 2 losses before that. Okay, so let's get that clear. Fulham has actually lost 2 in a row. They have not won 2 in a row. I knew I was looking at those games wrong. This table is a little different from the championship, the way that they're giving me these immediate signals for wins and losses. Aston Villa is a red-hot team. 3 wins of the last 4 for them. Crystal Palace, 4 losses in a row, 27 points. Wolverhampton, losers of 3 of their last 4, 27 points. Starting to get ugly down here towards the bottom. Let's talk about that. The relegation safe zone number right now is 25 points. So, Crystal Palace, Wolverhampton, 27 points. Leeds, 26 points. They won their last time out. Everton, 26 points. Draw, win, draw for them in their last 3 games. Losers have 2 in a row. Nottingham, 26 points. Leicester, they have a draw and 4 losses on the other side of that draw. So much for them having a nice second half of the season. They showed signs of that early, not so much now. 25 points for Leicester. They are safe now in the relegation zone for now. It might not be after the weekend. Relegation zone, 24 points for West Hampton, 24 points for Bournemouth, and Southampton has 23 points. So as dismal as it has been for Southampton all year long, a draw gets them a much-needed point their last time out, and they could actually jump out of the relegation zone themselves if things were to break their way. All right, so right there within 4 points, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams fighting to avoid the 3 relegation spots down to the championship. All right, let's get to the odds. We'll do the championship. We'll go commercial free today. We came on about 5 minutes too late, so I think I can run this all the way through. Let's go through and get the... Yes, sorry, no ticker today either. We're a little bit under the gun here in the studio on this Friday, coming off opening day baseball Thursday. All right, odds are coming up slowly but surely. Okay, English Premier League games. 7:30 is the big one for Man City and Liverpool, minus 160. Favorites for Man City. Liverpool is paying plus 420. So that's a big payout for Liverpool there, and plus 320 on the draw. Man City was kind of slacking on their goal efforts for a minute. I backed off of them, and then they have completely torn it up since I backed off of them. So, of course, we're going to jump right back on the Man City goal bandwagon, I think, on this one. Holland's just amazing. That guy scores goals at will. I think, what do you have, 5 goals in the Champions League here a couple weeks back? 5 goals. I don't think I've ever seen a player get 5 goals in a game. He is 12-1 odds for a hat trick. I mean, that's actually paying pretty good. He has a bunch of hat tricks this year already. He's plus 320 for 2 or more goals. At minus 230 anytime a goal. You never see that. You literally never see that. So Holland, he could have the hat trick again. Literally, Man City to score at home against Liverpool, I think is going to be somewhat of a layup. They're going to get their goals. Liverpool, you just don't know what you're going to get from them, really. But I can't see how Man City does not score. So over 3.5 goals for Man City alone is plus 560. Now, that may be worth a shot. You're getting 2-1 odds, plus 200 on over 2.5 home goals. I could see that happening. Weather forecast tomorrow will be patchy rain at first, clearing as the day goes. So more rain today and tonight. But Man City at the Etihad has a very nice field. So I don't think conditions will be an issue if it's rainy or not. Man City has proven they can score goals in the rain. They did that easily against Burnley too when they played in the FA Cup here. 6 goals in that game. So Man City goals, I think, all day in this. Combined goals, I don't know. Liverpool could get skunked on the scoreboard. I want to say that they're going to be able to contribute at least a goal or two. 4-1 could be the final of this game, maybe. Plus 410 to go over 4.5 goals. If you really want to stretch it to over 5.5, you can get plus 980. Not the worst play in the world, maybe, with these two teams, but I would expect goals one way or the other. Man City's been good for them themselves. We will hope Liverpool will be good enough, but I think you can take the Man City team goals or the straight over goals. Just climb the ladder over 2.5, over 3.5, over 4.5. I think all of that is actually fair game for that game. So lots of goals to wake up to early in the morning, 7:30 on a Saturday. Okay, Bournemouth and Fulham, 2 struggling teams. Bournemouth, when we gave the little relegation and promotion lesson earlier in the show, obviously Bournemouth has been promoted as of last season. They won the championship last year. Fulham was recently promoted. They've lasted a couple seasons up here, and they're going to get by again. They'll be good enough to avoid relegation this year. Fulham has got enough wins in the bank. Bournemouth, on the other hand, needs this game bad. So plus 150 for Bournemouth. Fulham plus 190. The draw is plus 220. So it's about evenly priced across the board for the most part. It's interesting. Bournemouth is actually a slight favorite here. I would expect Fulham to win. Mitrovic in the multiple red card game here that they played, was it Man United? I think that was an FA Cup game. It wasn't a Premier League game, but Alexander Mitrovic finally got back on the goal tally sheet. So he might actually have a good game here against Bournemouth. You got to like the speed by a couple of the Bournemouth players, too. A couple of the players to watch out for goals, for anytime goal scorer. Philip Billing. He's a nice player for Bournemouth. Billing has been playing good. Solanke with him are a pretty good duo. I think Bournemouth may be good enough to avoid this relegation at the end of the day. I don't know if they can get this win against Fulham. I could see this being a draw as well. So this is going to be a hard game. Billing is a nice player. If you wanted to do, let's see, is Mitrovic even playing? I don't see him listed as an anytime goal scorer. Yeah, I guess Mitrovic is, he might be sitting out because of the red card, to be honest. They probably kicked him out of the EPL game. Probably have to do a little bit more looking on that. But I don't see Mitrovic on the slate for goals. Yeah, man, I can see Bournemouth winning this at home. They are the favorite. But it's a tough call. Billing at plus 300, though, I do like that for maybe an anytime goal scorer if we do some kind of player prop parlay. All right, let's go to the next game. All right, we talked about these two teams having identical records in their last 5, and they'll face each other at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same kickoff time with Bournemouth and Fulham, and that is Brighton and Brentford. It's a tough game to call here. Brighton's been very nice since the Trossard trade. I thought they may regress a little bit. Not so much. They are a heavy favorite, considering that these two teams are tied in the standings. Brighton minus 165. Brentford plus 450. So that is interesting. Plus 300 for the draw. Brentford's not actually a team I've been playing on really either for the most part. Brighton was a team I like to play before the Trossard signing over to Arsenal, or Trossard signing on with Arsenal. So it could be a goal game, literally. I mean, both these teams can't score over 3.5. I don't think it's too far out of reach for these teams to get. I mean, I could see this being a 2-2 game. Over under 4.5 is plus 520. I don't know. Something just tells me it could be a 1-1 or 2. I mean, that is soccer, right? At the end of the day. It may have to be a pass. Not the brightest. I'd be more confident in Man City goals. I'd be more confident in having a pick in this than the Bournemouth Fulham game for sure. So I guess go ahead and give me over Brentford and Brighton goals. I think they get 3 goals anyway. Can they get the 4th would be the question. Is it really worth the price? We'll see if we can find better plays on the board, but if we need to stick them in a parlay as the quote-unquote dancing partner at the end of the day, that's what we will do. Okay, Crystal Palace plus 160 at home against Leicester, plus 185. Draw is plus 210. Both of these teams have been horrific. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Crystal Palace can't score. They do play nice defense. Leicester shows signs of brightness of scoring at times. At other times, they look terrible defensively. Harvey Barnes is in the lineup. Let's see. Jamie Vardy's listed as a goal scorer in this one. Maybe he'll get the nod. It's hard to go by the Friday goal scorer props because a lot of these players end up not playing, and then you're committed to the prop. You always want to wait to do the props until Saturday morning. I do like me some Patson Daka. He has missed some games, but he's back. I don't know. I mean, you got to give Leicester the advantage here, I think, over Crystal Palace, but I don't know. These two teams are bad. Saturday, 10 o'clock, Arsenal against Leeds. I think you take Arsenal team goals all day long. This could be an over game for sure. Leeds could get a goal, even maybe 2. But I think Arsenal gets their 3 or 4 because they are just that good. I mean, they are on fire. It's upsetting with the goal props with Martinelli and Trossard because they were splitting time, but now they're sharing time. But Martinelli still gets pulled out, or Trossard will still get pulled out. But anytime goal scorer plus 140 Trossard, Martinelli plus 150. Hard to count on them for 2 goals because sometimes they just get rested when Arsenal's winning big. Saka has been a great player all year. I mean, he could be worth a shot at 2 goals. Gabriel Jesus should be seeing some action too now as he's healthy. Arsenal is fully loaded. Granted, Xhaka, he's been a goal-scoring threat too. Plus 340 for him. Patrick Bamford, he will be in the lineup for Leeds. Plus 300 for Bamford's not the worst. Odegaard's plus 185 anytime goal scorer. Arsenal just has a wave of weapons. I mean, they're just so good. I would expect them to get their 3 or 4 goals, like I said. So we'll look at that angle real quick. Home team over 3.5 goals for Arsenal is plus 300. And over 2.5 goals for Arsenal is just plus 104. They can get that 4th, midway through the second half for sure. Let's see, over under 4.5 goals in this game is plus 300. So that's assuming Leeds gets a goal, right? plus 720 for over 5.5 goals. I don't know if we'll get that far. I've said the correct score here a couple of times of 4-1. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. 15-1 odds if Arsenal wins this game 4-1. I actually may have to play with that. So Arsenal team goals, that looks like a pretty solid bet. Man City team goals, that looks like a nice solid bet. And we'll throw Brentford and Brighton as an overplay so far. All right, Nottingham and the Wolves, two bad teams at the bottom of the relegation table. Plus 200 for Nottingham, plus 150 for the Wolves. The draw is plus 200. I think it's a hard pass. I'm not interested in taking either of these teams at the moment. Neither team shows me any excitement to watch them. And there's just going to be better plays on the board. I mean, this has 1-1 written all over it, to be honest. If you're going to go that route, 1-1, then might as well just take a look at that, right? Plus 500, that's not going to be good enough for me. That could be 0-0, literally. So we'll stay away from the Wolves Nottingham game. But needless to say, both those teams really need that bad. Chelsea is minus 150 favorite against Aston Villa, plus 450 on the comeback. The draw is plus 280. Chelsea, like I said, playing a little bit better their last couple of games, but Aston Villa has been as hot as it gets, really, for any team not named Man City or Arsenal. I mean, Aston Villa has had a nice run here, and Aston Villa at a payout of plus 450, that looks nice. I could see the draw plus 280. You could even play them both. To be honest, you could do the draw no bet here. The tie no bet, if you want to take Aston Villa, is plus 310. All right, so the draw doesn't beat you. I think that's a fair price for sure. Minus 390 on the draw no bet for Chelsea. Chelsea they may be turning around a little bit. They got a lot more to prove to the viewing audience here. This is a 12:30 game, so it will be standing alone by itself. I would look at Aston Villa. I mean, they played really well, even in defeat against the teams that they should lose to, like Man City and Arsenal. They've hung right in there. And I think they can beat Chelsea at Chelsea. So Villa at a plus 450 is a nice pick just for a straight up win. Plus 310 if you want to avoid the draw. If you want to lay the draw, then plus 280 for that. Let's see. Sunday. 2 games Sunday, and then we have a game Monday. And then we have, Tuesday and Wednesday EPL. Look at that. A few games. Let's talk about all that. Sunday, we'll go through that, and we'll just give a quick preview to the other games. Let's see. Sunday morning, 9 a.m., West Hampton, 2 words, against Southampton, 1 word. West Ham, minus 140, plus 440 for Southampton, plus 260 on the draw. West Ham, 2 words. Southampton, 1 word. I don't know. West Ham, minus 140. The favorite here against Southampton, plus 440. Draw plus 260. Both of these teams in the relegation battle. You wanted to see West Ham turn it around. They have the talent to be a better team. I just don't know what the disconnect is with them at the end of the day. Ings, Mikel Antonio, Jared Bowen, Saeed Benrahma. I mean, these are all decent players that should be getting West Hampton a lot more wins or draws than losses, and that just has not been the case. I can't trust either one of these teams right now, so I guess this is a toss-away game. Sunday morning, 9 o'clock. Hopefully I'll have better things to do. I won't be sleeping, I'll tell you that. We'll have a little family visitation there Sunday morning, so we're not going to miss this game while it's on. We'll listen to the radio in transit and then not really have any action on it. The next game, Newcastle and Man United. This is interesting. I feel like both of these teams are the same. This could be a low-scoring game. 11:30 a.m. Sunday. Weather better Sunday. We're looking same temperatures both days, Saturday, Sunday in the UK, 50, 51, 52 degrees. But clearer skies, no rain on Sunday. Rain chances dwindling as the day goes by Saturday. So keep all that in mind for our less friendly sloppy turf scenarios out there, mainly in the championship. Newcastle, Man U, I don't know. It's a hard game. I can see it being a draw again, plus 240. I can see both of these games Sunday being a draw. I'm not going to really have an opinion here. I feel like I can't say they're both completely fading. Newcastle is faded more than Man United has a little bit more. I don't know if Newcastle should be the favorite here at plus 135. Maybe 2-1 for Man United straight up. I just expect a low-scoring, gritty game here, and I don't know. I don't think I'll be touching it. Everton, Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time against Tottenham. Everton plus 230, Tottenham plus 120. The draw is plus 230. Tottenham has been good. They've been scoring goals. Everton has kind of picked their game up a little bit as well. I think you could see goals in this game. Monday's forecast doesn't look bad in the UK either. Should be clear there for a Monday game. In Everton, Tottenham should be able to score against Everton. And Everton, I would think, would be good for a goal themselves, at least at home. So can we get to over 3.5 goals at plus 290? Probably. I think we can. So maybe that's one of the better plays. Tottenham has been a goal machine. If we look for just goals for them over 2.5, it's plus 470. I mean, that you're kind of priced in on that, to be honest. I mean, Tottenham can put a 3 spot up, and at plus 470, I think that's a fair number. So Tottenham, Arsenal, Man City, all on their team goals look like the best plays. And then let's see. Well, since we need them in some sort of a round robin here, I guess. Although we could intermix our plays with the championship. Yep, over Brighton and Bournemouth. Is that the game? No, that's not the one. That would be over in Brentford and Brighton. Yes. So Saturday, 10 o'clock, Brentford, Brighton. We can look for an over there to throw in with Man City team goals, Arsenal team goals, Tottenham team goals. Over 3.5 for Arsenal and Man City. We'll just look for over 2.5 for Tottenham. We'll look for a collaborative effort over 3.5 for Brighton and Brentford. The price on that one more time is plus 205. I feel like it should be higher. Aston Villa plus 450. I can't say Brighton and Brentford gives me the best taste in my mouth. Okay, game's Tuesday. Whew, allergies. Bournemouth and Brighton. So that's going to be a big game for Bournemouth. They are at home there. Leicester and Aston Villa. That could be an Aston Villa game for sure. Leicester has been bad, like we said. Let's see how Leicester plays at Crystal Palace. If they lose the Palace, then Aston Villa could really bring the noise to them there on Tuesday. Leeds and Nottingham Forest is on Tuesday. No opinion on that really yet. Tuesday is Chelsea and Liverpool. Liverpool, I think. Wednesday, West Ham and Newcastle. Probably a Newcastle. Man U and Brentford on Wednesday. That's tough. Brentford could win that game. Plus 440 is a nice price. Plus 320 on the draw is pretty nice too. All right, and then we have then we'll be off until next Saturday. All right, so Man U will actually have a really quick turnaround. Wednesday afternoon, 3 o'clock, Man U will play. Saturday morning at 7:30 against Everton. All right, let's get to the championship. See what we can find out there. We'll breeze through that card. We won't spend too much time. We'll get on out of here for a Friday afternoon. English Championship. And looking at the table, let me refresh this. And let's see what we have for a score, actually. Let me get the championship scores up, so I can get this updated correctly, because we are talking about the top team. Final, Burnley 0, Sunderland 0. So they drew out to a 0-0 draw. How about that? All right, Burnley top spot with the draw right here, 84 points, comfortably ahead of Sheffield, 14 points. So these two top teams, the top two teams will go and get instant promotion to the Premier League. Teams 3 through 6 will battle it out in a playoff. Burnley, 84 points. They're going to get promoted. Let's just assume that. Sheffield, 70 points. They need some work. They have work to do. Middlesbrough, 67 points. They are the third place team. That's the one threat to Sheffield right now. Middlesbrough has been an animal for sure. Luton has 64. Blackburn, 61. Millwall, 60. Your playoff right now would be Middlesbrough against Millwall and Luton against Blackburn. All right. After that, teams within striking distance of the 60, we're going to have, we'll call it 6 teams here. Norwich City, Coventry, West Brom, Watford, Sunderland, who we talked about, and Preston North End. 57, 57, 55, 55, 54, 53. 53 points for Preston. Okay. After that, it starts to tail off here. 36 is the relegation zone. So 39 points, you're safe. You'd be safe with 37, but no one has 37. Teams with upper 40s in points are Stoke, Bristol, Hull, Swansea, Birmingham, and Reading. You feel like all of those are safe. Teams within striking distance of being relegated: Queen's Park Rangers, Rotherham, and Cardiff. But they are safe. And then the relegation zone is Huddersfield, 36, Blackpool, 35, Wigan, 31. Wigan has a lot. Although they've drawn 3 of their last 5, Wigan has a long way to go to climb out of the cellar of the bottom of the championship. They need 8 more points to be ahead of the first team in the safe zone, Cardiff. All right, 7:30, a couple of games in the morning. Preston and Blackpool, 2 bad teams, so we're not going to go there. Luton and Watford, 2 decent teams. Watford doesn't score over goals for me. Every time I try it, they just don't do good enough. I could see Luton winning this game at home. This is a good game. I could see it being a draw as well. How's that for soccer analysis? But probably better plays on the board. You would hope for some kind of super shootout over, but they probably won't. It'll probably be 1-1. All right, Huddersfield and Middlesbrough. You can take Middlesbrough team goals all day. This is one of the better plays. It has to be one of the better plays of the day. They were the best play, I think, last time I had the show, and they did their thing then. We've been on Middlesbrough the whole time. They just do not lose this for you. Away team Middlesbrough over 2.5 is plus 310, man. Take that. That's nice. Over 3.5 is at a 9-1 odds clip. They could get that. Huddersfield does give up goals. Coventry and Stoke, 10 o'clock. Stoke's been better. Coventry, decent. Hard game to predict. Hull and Rotherham, don't like the game. Cardiff and Swansea, 2 of the teams safe from relegation, but not having the best seasons either, really. We always like Swansea overs. I feel like Cardiff is an under machine. For the most part, they don't score a lot of goals, I feel like, in their games. If I look at them, They've scored 18 and given up 28. So they're definitely an under team. Swansea, I'm sorry, 28 scored, 41 given up, but that's still an under team. Swansea has given up 57 goals. That's a lot. They've scored 51, which is a lot. I guess Swansea, because they just have the goal scoring capability, and you're getting a better plus price of plus 200. So I guess that's fair game. But we're not going to look for any kind of super blowout there either. Bristol City and Reading. Bristol was an over team until we started taking them for an over, and they've quickly become an under team. I feel like 45 goals scored for Bristol, 46 against. So just a -1 on their differential. Reading is not, again, they're just one. The championship has been tough, people. Reading is a hard team to read. 40 goals scored, 58 against. Now, they have lost 4 of their last 5, so they've been in tremendous form as far as losing goes. Other teams to lose 4 of their last 5 are Queens Park Rangers. Yeah, let's keep that out there. Let's see. No one else really in the hot streak. West Brom has won 3 of 5. That's decent. Blackburn's won 4 of 5. Luton hasn't lost in their last 5. Middlesbrough, 3 wins in their last 5. Win for Sheffield. So there is just inconsistency all over the place in this league. So no play in Bristol and Reading, although Bristol is the favorite. I guess they do win. Reading's lost a lot, but we'll stay away from it. Birmingham and Blackburn. Birmingham, let's kind of take a peek at them again. Yeah, I mean, just nothing special. -8 on their point differential, 42 and 50 as far as the goals go for and against. Yeah, I don't know, man. I had such a good read on these teams, I thought. West Brom and Millwall seems like an odd matchup. Tough one to call again. Millwall would be in the playoff. West Brom they've showed very nice flashes this season of being a good team. They are within striking distance of the playoffs, so you can't chalk them out for that. So this is a huge game in terms of that. Maybe an over. I mean, you can't really say. I mean, there's just not many over teams in the championship. Middlesbrough is really the only one who's consistent in scoring. Both of these teams inconsistent, what they can put into the back of the net from week to week. But if you're going to look for goals, I could see the over being on this one. So Millwall, West Brom, since we need to throw something in from the championship, plus 340 for over 3.5, I think it's fair game. Norwich and Sheffield. Again, at Norwich. Norwich trying to get into the playoffs. Sheffield trying to avoid going into the playoff as they are number 2. But this could be the same philosophy here as Millwall and West Brom. This could be an over goal scenario. So whatever over parlay we look for, we'll probably just try to go over 3.5 at plus 250. But again, man, I mean, this could be a 1-to-1er. We'll hope they can get to the over 3.5. QPR and Wigan. I mean, this is about as bad as it gets. QPR has been on a horrible spell here. They've been in a terrible rut. Wigan is the bottom team in the league. 0-0, correct score. Rotherham and West Brom. Okay, that's next week. That's it. All right. So championship games, and we had the one draw today. Well, you can look for goals, hopefully, cross your fingers. Norwich and Sheffield United, 10 o'clock. West Brom and Millwall, 10 o'clock. And then I like Middlesbrough team goals. Away team goals. Middlesbrough over 2.5 is a nice price. All right. And again, in the Premier League, Man City, Arsenal, team goals for them. Tottenham on Monday, team goals. Brighton, Brentford, we'll throw a dart at that one over 3.5 goals. And then we will take a shot as well with Aston Villa, straight up over Chelsea, 12:30. Okay, guys, that's the Friday Soccer Paycheck. Thank you for dealing with my allergies and everything else. We should be back Monday. Yes, Monday for NHL, 6 p.m. all week. What the puck is going on. We have playoff hockey here in the near future as well. So a lot to be excited about. English Premier League, about 10 games left to play. NHL playoffs. March Madness rounding out. Let's go Miami Hurricanes. Have a nice winner if they can pull out everything this weekend. So good luck, everyone. Have fun with the sports.